What is true compassion? Compassion is something that doesn't require, well, it demands that we don't require affiliation by group, affiliation by religion, society, economic status, or lack of religion, or lack of any societal standing. Uh, it requires that we open up to people and accept them into our fold, accept them into the fold of our own group, our own personal circle, regardless of what standing they have. Compassion is something that we must extend even to the worst of people, but to varying degrees. I mean, we can't just accept a serial killer into our house, regardless of the fact that he might kill our family. That's why degrees come into play. We can't allow somebody to hurt somebody else, but the maximum amount of compassion that we can give that person must be utilized. Compassion is something that is and doesn't demand reward. We must not accept rewards, we must not demand rewards, and we must not expect rewards for any compassionate act we commit. Only in this way do all people around the world who act compassionately are involved in a single community, a single identity, a single word, humanity, regardless of different beliefs or lack thereof. Humanity must remain compassionate in the sense that we accept each other and show compassion towards each other in regards to magnitude, like I mentioned. And now, if there are people that are dangerous, the magnitude is very low. We must show as much compassion as possible, but we must also contain them so that they don't hurt other people. That is compassion. And every now and then we might have to actually kill somebody if that's the only way to get around them hurting people. Basically, we might have to have a society based on some degree of self-defense, as we have in most countries. We might have to accept that we might always need a tactic for self-defense. We might always need the ability to defend ourselves, either nationally, individually, societally, even as far as communities. Communities need to accept the fact that even if there hasn't been an attack, even if there hasn't been a terroristic attack or a individual attack based on mental problems, that communities need an ability to defend themselves. And the ability to defend communities is basically like a community watch, a street watch, a night watch, something like that, so that basically people are safe within their houses when they're sleeping. But that is in the first world. In third worlds, of course, there needs to be guards. Of course, there needs to be more police units, and the police units need to basically act on this magnitude system as far as who poses the most threat, what weapon are they using, and can one of these attackers be taken in safely without any harm to them or the individual. But it's much more important for the individuals who are innocent to be protected, to have the ability to be safe within their own homes, within their own communities, within their own societies. And that's why magnitude comes into play again. We have to accept the fact that it's not black and white. We can't just say these people are good, these people are bad. Anybody who is violent, anybody who wants to rob is completely evil and they must be killed. That's not something that we can accept as humanity if we're going to move forward, because there are many magnitudes as far as the dangerousness of people. And despite the fact that, if we kill that person that's dangerous, they won't be a problem anymore, it sets a precedent for killing people who are just a little bit less dangerous, because it'd make it more convenient. And then we start killing more and more people based on the fact that it's more convenient to take out the problem than it is to address the problem. And that's basically the linchpin that brings about mass murders in society. Eventually, not immediately. But if we kill one person, then it's likely we'll kill another. And then the requirement for who we kill will become basically to a lesser and lesser degree of magnitude. So we have to be careful with how we defend our communities, how we defend ourselves, how we defend our societies. Because even if we're safer because somebody that's a little bit dangerous is dead, um, it doesn't give the freedom that the act supposedly defends to people that exist in the community, because a lot of the time innocent people are accused of these acts and they don't deserve the punishment that's exacted upon them, because only recently did we find out that many people who we thought were murderers were actually innocent people based on DNA evidence in the court systems. And but a lot of those people were actually already dead. We already executed them. So that killing, that murder can't be taken back. Even if we had so much evidence for them actually being guilty of the crime, that murder, that killing cannot be taken back. So we have to be careful. We have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our community. We have to protect our group, our nationality. But we have to understand that to display the greatest degree of compassion is actually to have the strongest community, have the strongest nation, and to display that grand degree of compassion is to move forward and understand that the more compassion we show, the less these acts will happen, the less terrorism will happen, the less murders will happen, and eventually we'll get to a point where we won't have to have magnitudes, because there will be so few crimes committed that the magnitude of these crimes will basically be minuscule. But it all comes down to not killing violent people, but trying to understand them, trying to reform them, trying to dish out a punishment that is justice, that is correct. Now, this may seem strange, but as an individual who has dealt with many violent people, many violent situations, I know that to a very large degree, most of society has different magnitudes of violence towards our family, towards ourselves. And, it's not always hitting, it's not always killing, of course. It has more to do with our emotions, and emotions are a big factor in our relationships with everyone. Our relationships to our families, if we display high degrees of violent emotions, can be just as damaging as actually hitting them. So what we have to do is understand violence not just in the physical sense, but also the emotional sense, the spiritual sense, and try to work out a way to live together, and dishing out punishments that are proper for the crime, and which are just for the future, the progress of a community. And that's basically all I got to say. I thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a great day.